Triple kill. Quadra kill. Penta kill. Welcome.
Hello and welcome to OzLoL Podcast, episode 86. My name's Colossus, I'm host of the show, and this week we're talking patch 5.8, part 2. Hopefully only part 2, hopefully not part 3 as well. We're going to talk about some of the happenings in the Oceanic scene, and I have two terrible, awful, useless gentlemen to help me with that. Since last week they scorned my nice introduction, I have Stephen Garstone.
Why do I get the feeling that I'm being punished for other people's behavior? I don't remember scoring you
I
for
wasn't even
squat.
on last episode. What the hell, man?
What? Yeah, you both, you were like, I was like so nice to you, and you were like, ugh.
I didn't do nothing to you.
You did
I wasn't
do-
here for 2 weeks.
Doing nothing is your speciality, Victor. That's why
Thank you.
I said those mean things about you. And that's Victor Bradley as well. Overlord, we should say, of the Trinity Force Network. The Hydra to our shield, infiltrating. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to listen to the Trinity Force Podcast, episode 257.
Where I took over your precious network. With
So,
my fake Australian accent.
Yeah. He has Skyneted us. He has gone sentient and now taken over. Alright. And Scott's missing because his internet is awful. So, you know, something. Some sort of meme can be had here. We are actually live and on time. At 7 PM Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. No, sorry. Eastern Standard Time. Not Daylight Savings Time. On twitch.tv/TForce Podcast. So come and join us. Join us in the Twitch chat. There's always lively discussion. Last week we had Flying Jew and Riot Benji and other cool people. So hopefully some of them show up. You can always ask your questions. We're theoretically not having patch notes for a little bit. So your face right now is like, I don't know what you're doing, but it's funny. Anyway.
Come enjoy it. You should come and watch us in
He's got his creepy face on.
Overly attached Victor.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
I've killed Carrot.
You have. Yes. So, twitch.tv/TForce Podcast. Battle Arena will be back on this Thursday. This time it will be live streamed. Actually, I need to get the VODs from you guys. Or, no, it didn't really happen. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. This Thursday, from 7 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time, we'll be doing Battle Arena. So if you are bronze to gold, you are welcome to come and join us. We basically, it's for people who are wanting to get better at the game, who want a bit of feedback on how they play. Jump in the OzLoL chat room in the client. We post details there. We have a lot of fun, and it's us three who are right now on the show. We commentate it and try and give you some good feedback. So,
yeah, the two best casters in Oceania plus Carrot.
Indeed, the move over Atlas and Spawn and Papa Time because
Well, technically they're not in the OCE region right this second.
That's true.
Unless their flights landed since the...
Yeah. So, Victor is alluding...
Technicality, the two best casters.
Yeah. Technically, right now, two best casters.
As voted by the fans who are so hilariously entertained by Steven's solo casting. By Steven's solo casting, as well as Victor Bradley's calling Mr. Mel Gibson. Calling J4.
J4 Mel Gibson. I saw the splash. I looked at Victoria's J4 and I went, doesn't look like Mel Gibson, so I don't know where you got that one from.
You gotta see the in-game model, it's Mel Gibson.
Okay, alright. These guys casted the Legacy Showdown yesterday, so Sunday, May 10th. So if you want to go, I don't know if they've got VODs. I presume that you should go to their Twitch channel.
Yeah.
And just watch the VOD if you are keen. Did you do it the accent, Vic?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
He
that's
kept character the entire time.
That's impressive because that's how many games did they? They played 5 games.
I can confirm I did not say fuck or bugger.
It's true. You were very well behaved.
Yeah, I think I might need to actually change this show to have the explicit tag. Just realized. Yeah, that's impressive. 3 games. It's pretty good. Anyway, other show news. So the
6 games. We had 3 in the.
Of course, yeah.
3 in the evening.
Yeah, it's
Spoiler alert: the best of 5s went 3-0.
Yeah. So, Adam Ponophobia Cocktail, the host of the Trinity Force proper, they are looking for a Python developer. Now, I have no idea what Python is, but Adam sure sounds like he does. So, if you are looking to improve your portfolio and you do Python, and he said something about Django and some other stuff, listen to the start of the Trinity Force podcast last Thursday, so that's 257. He goes into more detail, or you can hit him, probably go to the Trinity Force subreddit, so reddit.com/r/tforce network, and you can probably get him there, or on Twitter, @tfpone. So
I also do not know what the hell a Python is, but from what I can gather from what you've just told me, if you were an extra in the movie Django Unchained and you were also a Python, then you're just the right person.
Yep, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he's looking for. Yeah. Absolutely, those people are the most gun website developers, and so if you are an extra from Django Unchained, we need you. Basically the Trinity Force Network website's undergoing a revamp, and they're looking for somebody to help them out. If that's in your alley, get in touch with them, or you can get in touch with us, of course, OzLoLpodcast@gmail.com or Facebook.com/OzLoLpodcast, and we'll get you in touch with Adam. Also, with the Trinity Force proper, Riot Light and Ghost Crawler? Ghost Crawler.
Oh, don't be mean.
Yeah, gross.
You're the gross.
They...
Man, you're the gross.
Yeah. Riot Light and... I'm not going to say it again, oh my god.
You can't say it properly.
It's like the Stormtrooper in Star Wars. Once you see him hit his head, you can never unsee it. Riot Light and Ghost Crawler on the T-Force proper. It's actually going to be tomorrow morning our time, so their Monday episode. So May 11th their time, so May 12th our time. So again, live on this channel, or make sure you tune in this week through the podcast, or you can go see the VOD at youtube.com/T-Force podcast. They will be talking about player behavior. They're going to have also their player coach person who's been on a couple of times. I forget his name, but there's a guy who does a thing, and he'll be on as well. So basically, it'll be all about player behavior and tribunal and all that sort of stuff. So if you are able to get into the Twitch chat, you can complain loudly, like every other Oceanic player, that we do not have a tribunal, and then Riot will still not care.
Not having your voice heard? Have your voice heard.
Yeah.
Sick of having your voice not heard? Come here to have your voice not heard right in front of you.
Yeah. Right in the face. No, but it's been really good. Ghost Crawler's really top guy, top-notch guy, and they've had him on a couple of times before, and the guy is in charge of, player design, or, game design, so, yeah, he's pretty interesting to hear. So make sure you check that out. I guess that'll be 258, episode 258 of their show.
Yeah. I'm super psyched for that episode personally, because Riot Light is a personal hero of mine.
Yeah,
he's works on my favorite video game, works in video games in general, like a super scientist in terms of manipulation of millions of people for bettering the world through video games, and I'm like, dude, that is just brilliant. I love everything that guy does.
Yep. No, it's well, he's been on Reddit, the League Reddit subreddit this last week, and he talked about there'll be, alas, no more light smites on the forums, because apparently you'll be able to get your, whenever you get in trouble, they're going to give you a little snippet of your chat logs. So, alas, there'll be no more Wookie Cookie or light smites.
What are you talking about?
Well, didn't you ever see that on the NA forums? People would say, "Oh, I got banned. Why did I get banned?" And they'd be like, "Here, have some of your chat logs, and here you can have a further ban because you're a douchebag." It's just funny,
right? That was called a light smite.
A light smite, yeah.
That's awesome.
Because everybody on Reddit's like, "That's amazing." Yeah, it's funny seeing somebody actually get because it's all behind the scenes. You never see when people get in trouble, and then to actually see it is awesome. Anyway, that's tomorrow morning. It'll be from about, I think it's about 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch it live. Or just follow, go to the Twitch.
10:30 Darwin time. Yeah. That's
T-Force Reddit, T-Force Twitch, and just click on the little follow button. All right, well, let's get into some...
in the chat, just hit the follow button.
Yeah, that's it. If you haven't already, you should be. And if you haven't, you should. Okay, let's talk about Oceanic news. So, the announcement of the OPL final, which was made last Monday, they announced tickets. Tickets went on sale. About 5 minutes after they went on sale, they all sold out. No, not quite 5 minutes, but I mean, I managed to get tickets. I think I bought my ticket like just after we finished recording, and I was struggling to get a ticket. And then I think I was probably one of the last people in the entirety of Australia to get a ticket to the actual final. So
yeah, well, they were gone by the time that I got to have a look.
Yeah.
Even look at the website that you could order them from.
Yeah.
Because I read the announcement when I first read the announcement, it was like the championships are going to be at Luna Park was like the headline. I'm like, oh, okay, well I'll email that to myself and I'll check that out, so I can. Because I was at work when the notification came through, and then I didn't actually read that until right before the podcast. I'm like, oh, okay. After we're done recording, I've got to buy those, and by the time I got there, they were gone. Now they did a resale the following night. On the Tuesday.
Well, they had 100 tickets.
100.
Which considering 1,300 tickets sold out in like about 5 hours. 100 tickets I don't think lasted 5 seconds. So
no, they were gone instantly. I was sitting in a restaurant because I already had dinner plans, and I'm like, guys, you just have to excuse me for a minute. I'm sitting there with my smartphone, just refreshing the screen, waiting for those tickets to become available. The second they were, I'm like, just try and get through it. And by the time I hit but by the time I'd entered my credit card details, hit submit, it says those tickets are already unavailable.
Yeah.
And I was just, oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, I thought I'd run out of tickets as well, just because I went to buy a ticket, and then it said, oh, there's no more tickets available. I'm like, oh, damn. So anyway, I kept refreshing, and eventually I got something like, oh, snap them up, quick.
Yeah.
So
I saw your little post on Twitter.
Yeah, I was pretty bummed.
Message that you were getting. Yeah,
so now I've basically locked myself into going to the thing, and I gotta like buy it. Like I haven't even think about where I'm staying or like how I'm getting there. I'm just like, I need to buy a ticket, and
And so, meanwhile, I'm in the position where basically I need to make Immunity win if I want to go.
Yeah.
So I've got some work ahead of me.
That's it. Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty amazing that 1,300 tickets. I mean, the tickets are only $15, so it's not exactly like they were charging a lot. But
that's supply and demand for you right there. Like how much for the tickets to PAX?
Yeah.
And it was on a very busy weekend.
Well, even PAX. I mean, PAX tickets are only like $30 or something as well, aren't they?
I think you might be thinking of a different PAX.
Okay, maybe not. I don't know. I looked
like $150.
Yeah, really? Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking of a different thing. Maybe I think if I think Supernova tickets were like, they're really cheap. It was like $40 or something. But I guess PAX is bigger. Anyway, it doesn't. I imagine they probably can't move to a bigger venue at Luna Park. So I guess that's kind of it for this year. So you just everybody have to make sure they go to the Hoyt's cinema thing, except Steve because he's in Darwin and they don't have one of those things there because civilization is lacking.
I'll stay home.
Yeah. But yeah. So I guess if you missed out, you just have to go down to Hoyt's. All right. Well, speaking of oceanic news, Flying Jew, who we mentioned already, he has joined Legacy, replacing Aegium. So, and Rosie has joined Sin Gaming, who have qualified just the weekend before last. So, yep, the whole shuffling as a result of...
Why didn't you read the whole thing I wrote down? Just, Carrot, come on. Flying Jew joins Legacy, replacing Aegium, who joins Chiefs, replacing Rosie, who joins Sin Gaming, replacing Flying Jew, who joined Legacy.
I mean, it's all there in black and white, Carrot.
Yes. I always find it hard to believe why I didn't read that out as written.
Just for the listener's point of view, like, normally Carrot's the one that creates our documents here, but Carrot was running a little late tonight, so we sent out a request, can one of you guys do the document? And by the time I got home and read that message, Victor Bradley had already done up quite a hilarious document, so I've been enjoying just reading through this as we go through.
And he didn't put it in Calibri font, and he didn't put it at 11 point. Basically, like, my OCD kicked in big time as soon as I saw that. I'm like,
whatever.
Anyway. So anyway, Flagy, I mean, I always thought he was a pretty good performer. I'm trying to think of the team he was on last. I'm pretty sure it was, Heaven's team. What was it? It's going to come to me.
Well, he was on End Zone for a while.
Yeah.
Back in what are they called? The Oceanic Challenger Series, but then he moved to there.
So, yeah. Anyway, I always thought Flying G was one of the better. Like, he was quite a good support, so it'll be good to see how he goes in with Legacy. Because
and he's been around a while too.
yeah. He's got experience. It's good. Oh my gosh, it's gonna eventually come to me.
He's the guy who's really hard to kill and always walks away with a sliver of health. That's what me and Steve discovered last night.
he had some amazing just initiations, or he'd be caught out or something. Like, he'd end up in the thick of a fight and he'd walk out with less than 100 HP. It happened like 5 different times in the series.
And don't be surprised if Legacy's bot lane starts running Kennen support with Callista so they can throw a slicing maelstrom at people. So that's exactly what they were doing.
Yeah, I think that's becoming a bit of a thing. So
yeah, it has become a bit of a thing.
Gee, it's funny what dumb champions bring to the game. Oh, sorry, Callisto brings to the game.
Kennen being picked as a flex pick at the moment has just kind of turned pick and bans slightly on its side. It's a bit weird. It's not like Morgana being played in the mid or top lane, you know. It's a different idea. Support
it's fun
Kennen.
it's fun and it's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I just don't like Callista. Oh,
Come on, Kat.
Echo was
Yep.
next.
So we also got the what?
Discussion. Get us back on track.
Yeah, no, I'm waiting for you guys to stop talking. If I stopped you guys going off track every single time, we wouldn't have a podcast. All right. So also happening in the Oceanic scene, we've got the Oceanic Collegiate Championship. So this is basically university teams taking each other on. I gotta say, there is at least one West Australian team, even if it's from Murdoch. So awesome. There's teams from ANU, you got UNSW, you got University of Sydney. In fact, there's 2 UNSW teams. There's 3 Kiwi teams. You got Queensland, UQ, and UQT, and South Australia, and Victoria's got 3 teams. So yeah. Started last weekend. I didn't actually catch any of the games, but it's actually pretty impressive. The 2 grand finals will fly out to Riot Games Sydney Studios on May 12. So that's actually, that's tomorrow night. So there you go, Tuesday night. If you're looking for something to do, it's got a best of 5 final, and the prizes. Before we started, I was saying it was pretty cool. Like they get mini statues of Ghost Bride and Morgana, which I think is pretty nifty. So I think this is like quite good support from Riot, like for, I guess, a smaller competition, but which has a lot of promise because, I mean, really, all the players in the Oceanic scene, most of them are going to be coming out of university. So, yeah.
What I love most about this article is just the fact that they've used the Headmistress Fiora skin splash art as like the opening picture for it. I'm like, way to set the tone.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
They should have a YouPorn sponsorship one of the teams.
The thing I like about the like university teams is we think about like our OPL players, like some of them are in Sydney, some of them are in Melbourne, some of them are in Darwin. Why are they doing in Darwin? You know, they're all coming from different places in Australia, but if it's a uni team, they all go to the same uni, so they're not too far from each other. That's one thing I really like about the college championships.
Yeah, and I think the UNSW, so this is University of New South Wales. I think the League of Legends Society is actually pretty advanced. Just because I know that they actually have their own YouTube channel and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, I mean, I think some of it's actually not actually reasonably well organized. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. There's no update of who won on the League of Legends website, so I guess we can't say who's actually playing, but yeah, anyway, you'll find out tomorrow if you watch. Alright, and I think that's it for news. Oh no, Echo. So, if you didn't watch the mid-season invitational final, which we're not going to talk about, but apparently had a really good ending, they actually previewed the latest sort of teaser for the next champion, Echo, which I'm pretty sure says EKKO. I'm pretty sure there was isn't there like a Sega Mega Drive game that was like Echo the Dolphin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there was.
Yeah, there were
surprisingly undolphin-like though. This champion. I guess that was ECCO. So anyway,
I don't know. You can kind of say it's like he's got a bit of fin action going on.
He does actually. Yeah. They should actually maybe they can make a dolphin Echo skin.
I'll tell you something. If anyone's watched the video, I'm more interested in this Urgot / Singe / Vi hybrid they got going on.
Yeah. So
boxing on with Echo.
Yeah, basically it's a like a cinematic trailer teaser, and there was a kit floating around. I think that his kit was actually put onto the PBE, but not put live. The files were discovered, and his whole thing is time. He manipulates time, a bit like that. What's that pendant that Hermione Granger used in Harry Potter to go back?
The time
Oh,
turtle.
it was a pendant.
Yeah.
And the
so-
only reason I know that is because of how it should have ended.com.
Okay.
I didn't
Well,
actually get to see that movie.
so yes, it's like he basically uses short-term time things to go back and change actions or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it looks.
Well,
I mean, I'm
can't
surprised that they've
begin-
gone.
Yeah, I can't begin to fathom how that ability is going to work in this, because this League of Legends is definitely a game of, if you're out of place for even a second, then you've made just a huge mistake that could lose you the game. We've seen those moments over and over again in competitive play. Now, if you could actually rewind the game, or, correct his positioning to before he was killed or something like that, that would be ridiculous. I don't even know how they would do that with the in-game engine. People are going to think they're lagging or something.
Yeah. So I mean, it's the kit. I remember somebody saying on Twitch, like, if this is the kit that was found on the PBE is actually the real thing, then they're going to leave League of Legends. But
I can't find nothing about this kit.
if you actually, I'll just put a thing in the Twitch chat. There we go. So he's got I mean, it's got he sort of he even talks like in the little what you call it, the little video. It sounds very Israel-like, and his kid kind of even looks a bit Israel-like as well. So yeah, it's I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I mean, I guess it will go to the PBE probably in the next 24 to 48 hours. So I guess we'll get to find out for Uzis. But yeah. Anyway, looks. I'm not that pumped. But then again, he's not a support, so I don't care so much when they're not supports.
What kind of champion is he? Is he like an 80
Yeah,
cap?
yeah.
He looks like, I mean, he actually looks like Ezreal, but with a sword and with a mohawk instead of a, blonde hair. So I guess maybe he's a mid laner or a top laner or something.
Alright, top lane. Because he looks kind of squishy in the video. Like, he looks
Yeah.
like someone, like, if he gets caught out, then he's kind of stuffed.
I guess we'll find out. It'll be up soon. So, and then I guess we'll talk about it once we've seen a video and what everything does. Let's get into patch 5.8. Again. we got to Jinx. She's had a significant change to her ultimate. So basically, she's lost almost all the base damage on her Super Mega Death Rocket on her ultimate, and that's it. Straight up nerf. So it goes from 125 to 225 damage with a 0.5 bonus attack damage to 25 to 45 damage. Yes, you heard us right. 25 to 45 base damage and a 0.01 base attack damage modifier.
That's a minimum damage nerf. The maximum damage still stays the same.
Yes.
The rocket does build up over time. So technically, yes, she's lost damage, but it's more so she's lost a lot of access to her damage. Like, she used to be able to go, "Hey, bitch, bam!"
Yeah,
straight
point
in your
blank range.
face.
It was being used like it was Gravezolt,
Yep.
and being just as
Riot
effective.
decided she's not Graves.
Yes. Well, I think after about a second, because basically the travel time increases the damage. I think after a second, she doesn't lose any damage. So it's just those sort of like point blank range ultimates, and she's still got the 35% missing health damage. So the execute's still there, and I mean, really,
Still-
that's
it's
nasty.
It's still a global Garen ultimate. Don't worry, kids.
Yeah.
You can see on the you can see with the visual animations, Riot are good about their visuals, indicating how much damage it's going to do, because it'll blow more, I guess, rocket flames out the back of it. It'll go bang, 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 and it'll
Exhaust?
be going at max
Yep.
speed. Exhaust, whatever you call it. You'll be able to see it when you fire it. And then you'll see when it hits its max damage. That's one thing I've always commended Riot for, is visual indications of things. And yet,
Visual cues.
some champions don't have that, and I hope they fix that soon too.
Yeah, I mean, Jinx is pretty powerful. This is a nerf that kind of, it really hits where she probably should be hit. I mean, ultimately, I think her snare is what makes her probably as... Like, I mean, her damage is good and all of that, but I think the snare is probably one of the nasty things about her kit, so... I think eventually they might have to tackle that as well, just because it's... I think the duration of it, the length of time it stays, is just probably a bit too long. And it just gives it too much control and... Yeah, all of that. So, yeah, that's my personal view. But, you know, this will help. It will separate the mediocre jinxes from the good jinxes, as they like to talk about. Kha'Zix.
Well, I think that the Jinx players are going to remain as good as they were. There's going to be a distinct difference between just blowing one up in someone's face and hitting one from across the map. And if you think of it, if it was the other way around, if the base damage, like the minimum base damage had always been this way, and it was a buff to increase the maximum damage at longer range, everyone would be super pumped for that. So it's just because it was already powerful and they're toning it down. Like the theme change is still cool. I like it.
You just pull an Altec. I don't know if you saw that video where basically they were backing from a fight and he didn't know where the person he was trying to snipe was, and so he just aimed for the fountain, and by the time they had recalled, they got hit by the thing.
Hit him.
Yeah, that's always fun.
And they were like, "Well, it missed him. Let's go look at something."
Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, well, he died.
What happened?"
Yeah.
Got a replay on that.
Kha'Zix, his W heals more at earlier ranks. So the heal amount goes from 40 to 60 at level 1, and then it's unchanged at max rank. So it goes up by 20, 15, 10, 5. So, you know, that's alright. I mean, he's still pretty squishy. This will help a bit.
I don't think it's his problem right now. But I think when the meta change...
The problem that he has is that he doesn't build tank.
Yeah,
that's his problem.
I was just when the Kha'Zix meta comes back, then this buff will be more noticeable because he can gank more early because he's not dying so much to jungle mobs.
Yeah.
But right now it's not his buff, so I don't think we're going to see any more Kha'Zix because of this. But when it is Kha'Zix's patch, he's going to get nerfed again.
Yeah, but they've never really. I mean. Like, essentially, he's been nerfed by a change in the jungle, not because he lost damage. Because, I mean, essentially, his thing was that he does a lot of damage. I mean, that's still the case.
He was nerfed around the same time that Elise was getting nerfed. It was just like, you know, if we nerf Elise, then Kha'Zix is going to be the premier assassin immediately. So, like, they nerfed them both at the same time, and then it just became, well, Jarvan 4 and Vi, let's do it. You know, so... and Kha'Zix always has that potential of coming back and just... in the right composition, can make just an absolute mess of the enemy team. And he's going to be a better choice now.
Yeah, the thing about reset assassins as well is even when they fall behind, there's always going to be a time where the stars might just align for them in one particular team fight, and then they just go huge and just get a quadra or whatever.
Yeah, when they do a Claire, do you know?
Yeah,
and then the right moment happens and just. Everything just happens all at once and pentakill.
Yeah,
2 times. Right, now we're winning.
It happens all the time with like Katarina in particular. Like you'll see it, you'll like there'll be that one game. Yes, I've successfully held down Katarina, and then 20 minutes later she's gotten a quadra kill just because the right moment happened. She come in at the right time when the right person was low and just bounced between everyone. Like that's the nature of reset assassins, which is not something they can do in this particular patch because everyone's too goddamn tanky.
Little quality of life bonuses to Mordekaiser, just that he doesn't need to stop to cast his W on somebody else. And if he self-casts, with a bit like Nunu's Blood Boil, he automatically targets the nearest enemy champion of self-cast. So, you know, that's a little buff, but it's not great by any means.
Those are nice changes. It's going to make you think about using that on allied champions more often, or not have to think about it and just go, all right, we can go. So, because Mordekaiser is one of those champions where, like, milliseconds matter. And stopping to cast Creeping Death was always just like why would I bother? You know, I'll do it once I've started auto-attacking because I've already stopped. Now, because they made that change where it gets the movement speed increase. So that's going to be... That's going to be much better.
Now that he instantly casts, he's going to get that movement straight away rather than he stops moving and then he gets the movement, so he's going to get it straight away now.
It was just pointless. I'm going to stop moving so that I can gain a speed increase. What advantage have I granted? You know, if the speed increase was enough that he could make up for the distance that he lost from stopping, then, you know, yay, net profit, but he hasn't really gained anything. He's just sort of slightly further ahead than before. Now it might actually make a difference.
Definitely. Nunu.
Yeah, Nunu. So he has had a health growth stat reduction. So instead of getting 96 health per level, he gets 90, which, I mean, it's about 100 damage, just over 100 damage at level 18. But I think, personally, I think that, you know, he loses about 30 health at level 6, which I actually think, I mean, it doesn't sound like much, but I think it probably has the potential to sort of make a little bit of a difference.
Well, this is actually, if you read the comments there, they've actually pointed out that this is a change thanks to the consume buff they did at the start of the season, when all of a sudden Nunu would get buffs from consuming different types of monsters in the jungle, and using consume on, which one was it? The mini golems, I think it was originally.
The
now
Krugs would give him extra HP.
Yeah, now he
Golems
gets
used to give him HP, and now it's the Krugs.
Yeah, and of course he's already rushing Cinderhulk, so they've obviously gone, okay, Nunu's a little too good. He's got a little too much HP at this juncture. So yeah, it's if that consume buff didn't give bonus HP and Cinderhulk came along, this health stat wouldn't be happening.
I mean, it's not that you see a whole lot of bottom lane Nunu, but even, I mean, him and Blitzcrank are those two champions that get surprisingly tanky quick, like quite early. You know, and you think, oh, you know, well, you know, we're doing quite well in lane. I should be able to bully and harass Blitz or Nunu or whoever. And then you just find that actually, well, if you go all in on them, they actually don't die that quickly. I quite like this change because
I think Blitzcrank's more a case of mana barrier, and because I'm pretty sure his base stats aren't too good without it.
Anyway, well, yeah, I mean, I've just noticed, not that I often face against blitzers, but even, yeah, I actually think he's actually reasonably tanky, just in his base stats. But anyway.
He's primarily being played in the jungle anyway, which is where the change is happening. So.
Yep, which is...
Well, why the change is happening. If he was being primarily picked as a support, then this wouldn't be happening. It's that consume Cinderhulk stacking, which 1 requires smite and 2 requires him to consume. So, yeah.
Sorry, I just lost my page. Shen gets another little quality of life buff, so now he is placed between his target and the closest visible enemy champion.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful.
It's nice.
It does mean that you'll be probably catching more Morgana bindings than previously, so you're not able to immediately teleport in and then dash to someone. But it does mean that the person you teleported in to defend is not getting hit by that same binding. So it has its pluses and minuses, this change. Any change to Shen, I think at this point, is just going to be drawing more and more attention to him, so I really hope he gets picked up a lot more, because I love watching the Shen plays.
Scion. So now Scion's shield lasts the detonation, like, it goes for 3 seconds instead of 2, so detonates slower. And there's a scaling on the maximum health that goes between 6 and 10%. So pretty much a straight up nerf. And probably a welcome one.
Just 10 at all levels. But now they've pushed it,
so now you actually have to think about whether you're taking W first instead of
Well, he's still going to be that late game unkillable tank. That's no big deal.
Yeah, it gives you more variety, I guess. Like if you're in lane, I'm not doing too good, I might max W this game, or I'm doing pretty good with this E, I'm going to keep smacking it at people and maxing that first, or hey, I'm doing kind of standard, I'll just max Q or whatever. Like there's a bit more variety there.
Does this, I mean, I guess I sort of wonder whether this changes his top lane, because he's sort of one of the top picks at the moment in top lane. Does this really change it? Does this change... I'm trying to think of whether I've seen... Because, you go for the level 1, jungle camp thing. Do they normally take W at level 1, or was that...
You take W at level 1 and you blow it straight away on the camp, so you don't, so the camp doesn't deal any damage to the shield.
Yep.
And then you let it kill you, and then you beat the crap out of it.
Yeah. So I wonder if the reduced scaling...
Unless you started a small camp. Unless you started a small camp, in which case you don't die. So you'd probably let it go into you. Or take another ability.
Yeah. Because, yeah, I just wonder whether that changes the viability of that particular strategy.
No,
yeah, sure.
I can't imagine it would all that too much because the shield is now smaller at level 1. So
another little quality of life change for Twitch this time. When he's got his active, his rat-a-tat-tat. I'm trying to think of... I was spray and pray before. That's right. Yeah. He's now able to hit the inhibitors in the Nexus, which is good because that would have been annoying that he couldn't have used it before.
This is huge. This is a massive change. Twitch is... he's a short range to medium range champion, except when he blows his ult. And that was absolutely of no use during a siege, because you couldn't actually deal any damage, not to towers, but to the inhibitors in the Nexus. And that was so infuriating, especially if you've just gone rat-tat-tat and just go blah, 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 blow the absolute hell out of the one person who was defending it with your ambush strategy, and then have to wait until you run out of time on your rat-tat-tat before you could start hitting their inhibitor. That was a huge, huge deal for Twitch players to have to kind of deal with, and I'm so glad that they've changed it, especially now that you can actually hit the Nexus from much further away with that rat-tat-tat. That's going to be very, very helpful for Twitch being the sneaky rat that he is.
Because now I noticed this back in Season 3. That's how goddamn old this bug is.
Yeah, no, it's been around for ages. I didn't think it was a bug. I thought it was operating as intended, because being able to snipe the Nexus and inhibitors at that sort of range would be just ridiculous.
Because I went to sneak an inhibitor once, and I was like, I'll pop my ult because it gives me more attack speed. I want to get out of here real quick. So here I am, sneaking in. Alright, I come out of visibility. Bang, 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 bang. It's not dealing any damage.
Yeah, it's just,
and I kept shooting, and then everyone just
nothing but air. Yeah.
Alright, so Yasuo's had a reasonable change. So basically the strength on his shield has gone up from 60 at the lowest level to from 60 to 100 at the lowest level, and from 470 to 510 at the highest level. But the flow charge rate has gone down at levels 1 and 7. So essentially he needs longer to charge up his shield.
It's not until level 13 where he gets to 100% effectiveness to recharge his shield.
So, yeah, I mean, I personally didn't think he needed a buff. This is a sort of buff. I mean, I think the increased window at the low levels is good, because, I mean, not that I often play against Yasuo, but when I have, I've noticed how quickly he gets his shield back. So, yeah, it's, that's kind of nice. It'll give you a bigger window to actually take him down. Especially like when you've sort of, because trades can actually go for a reasonably long time, I guess, at lower levels. So, having an increased gap between the shields, because it might be the case that you burn his shield, then you all in him, but the trade goes for a while, and by the time you get to sort of the killing blow at point, his shield has come back. And I know I had that once, because he starts to back off, so he's walking, he's generating flow, and then I think I had an ignite on him, and just as it was about to kill him, his flow came back up, triggered the shield, and he didn't die. And I'm like, oh, so. I guess that's probably a good thing, but yeah, I mean the stronger shield strength. I mean, 40 damage is a lot at level 1, levels 1 to 3. So
yeah, this is I mean, I want to say it's good, but you can argue for or against, because it's longer between when he gets the shield, but the shields are bigger, so he's got more specific windows where he can sort of trade in his laning phase. But they're more spaced apart, and so now I don't know. Like you can say it's good, or you can say it's bad.
I've not played a lot of Yasuo, so everything that I'm going to be saying is going to be based off what I've observed, really, and like one ARAM match or something. I've not played a lot of Yasuo, but from how I would understand is because his shield is up previously, when his shield is up fairly often, he can set up the minion wave situation to dash in, get that shield, trade in, dash back out, and basically win a trade quite well. Now the shield is going to be better at doing that, but up less often. So this will probably end up being better for all-ins from Yasuo, so being able to follow up on a gank or tower dive and all that sort of thing. But actual in-lane trading, he'll probably come out a little bit worse unless he's the one initiating the trade. That's, yeah. I haven't played a lot, so don't take that too particularly seriously, because Yasuo is one of those players you really need to get to know before you can have a deep understanding of.
Yeah, well, Yasuo hit a pretty big nerf earlier on when Infinity Edge was changed. It lost a little bit of crit chance, and it was moved over to PD, Phantom Dancer. And Yasuo's didn't build Phantom Dancer because they already go through minions. Like Static Shiv was just more of a power spike for him than that item. So and because he gets double crit, he's actually lost 10% crit chance, and you need an extra item in there or more runes dedicated to crit chance to get him to 100%. So that was really the biggest nerf he's actually seen. There's still a lot of crit chance, but he did lose 10% reliability on his damage.
Yeah. Well, Yasuo's role as like an AD mid that can split push and duel quite effectively, and with that exact nerf that you're talking about, why would you ever take Yasuo when you could take Zed, who does exactly the same thing and fills the exact same role?
Yeah, Yasuo has a much larger team fight presence though. Like with his reliability in like wombos and even to some degree setting some things up, like if that's the kind of Yasuo you're playing, like he's more there in a team fight, whereas Zed, he's got to wait for his windows. Whereas Yasuo can start his windows, he can follow up on other people giving him the windows or whatever. Like Zed's got to be like, is now a good time?
Well,
I think now's a good time.
Yeah,
because if Zed goes in at the wrong time, Zed's died. But Yasuo can put the whole team in the air, and he's got himself a few seconds. He gets his shield back, and he's got his wind wall. Like there's more presence for Yasuo in a team fight.
But like we could discuss Yasuo versus Zed for a while. Like, because Yasuo does rely a lot more on his team composition to set up those knock-ups, whereas Zed fit better into most team comps. You know, he can last pick him and he can fill multiple roles. It has more. Anyway, like we could talk about that for ages, but we do still have some more patch notes and we're running out of time.
Yeah. So, where are we at? So, you got Howling Abyss. I think that's where we're up to. I think we did the items last week. Did we do the items last week?
Oh, that's right. I ranted about Black Cleaver's cooldown.
Yeah. Let's talk about Howling Abyss. Just, like, mainly because we actually play it. Like, unlike all the other game modes,
North Americans have access.
Yeah, you know, we don't get Twisted Tree Line and Crystal Scar. Well, he's not regularly. Twisted Tree Line's up for the weekends.
Crystal Scar and Twisted Tree Line changes. I was like, oh wow, that's cool.
Except we don't have like matchmaking for it. Howling Abyss. So visual updates. That's cool. Surrender timer at 15 minutes. I think it should be 10, but that's just me. But 15 is still better.
It shouldn't be in the game.
Yeah, I'm with you, Victor.
No, they should be surrender.
Like, if you're gonna surrender it, like if you're in a position where you're so demoralized you're gonna lose in 15 minutes, the game's probably gonna be over in a minute anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Some games can be like, yeah. There's been games where it's definitely over. Well, I mean, it's. I guess 15 minutes isn't quite as bad, but I know there's games. You know, you get the right combination. They get the right combination. You don't. The game's over at 10 minutes. Like, there's nothing you can do about it.
6 Nidalee Lux, like just a complete poke comp, and you've got nothing but Tryndamere and Olaf around. You know, like, oh well.
Having said that,
I play out them all.
We have seen the return of the Snowball, the Mark Dash thing from Legend of the Porro King. So that's returned, and that is great because firstly, it makes the game more fun because you're throwing snowballs, and who doesn't like throwing snowballs? Secondly, it makes champions like that really struggle to get in. Any champion with a dash, or you know, without a dash, who, you know, they can get in, they can do what they do, and it's just it's a great.
Well, it changed the game completely because previously, if you got a Garen on your team, you'd be just like, oh god, like sometimes Garen can just go absolutely off with the right team or the right enemy composition in an ARAM, but most of the time,
throwing him around.
Yeah, you're just like, what are we gonna do? But now, man, you get a Garen, you pick up that snowball, you are just broken as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, now that everybody is pretty much Lee Sin, we're just fighting all the goddamn time in ARAM. There's no downtime, there's no getting poked out or nothing, it's just fighting, which I'm pretty sure is the point of ARAM anyway, so this has only done good things for us.
Well, it also makes a bunch of champions that would be otherwise fun in ARAM actually viable. So Darius is viable. Alistair becomes much more viable. I mean, Alistair becomes an absolute flipping nightmare to deal with.
Alistair's huge.
Yeah.
ARAMs, man.
Who else? I mean, even someone like Aatrox probably does better because you can use your Q to escape instead of using your Q to have it get in and then finding yourself completely dead. Tryndamere, just anybody who just struggles to actually get in, and then it becomes a terror. Like something like a Singed. Just like you don't want that guy in your grill. So
that'd be so brilliant. Just a max range snowball.
Yeah.
It's from the enemy team's back line.
Public service announcement to anyone who rolls an 80 carry in ARAMs. Stop taking Mark Dash as an 80 carry in ARAMs.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea. Why do you people keep doing it? Like the amount of times an 80 carry has popped up next to me from this snowball, I've gone like,
oh look, lunch.
all right.
Yeah.
Bam.
Actually, speaking of AD carries, something that does improve them is the bringing of Bloodthirster. So, not that often I play AD carries on ARAM just because I try to go for the tanks, just like in every other game mode. But not having that, nice, only having sort of Essence Reaver and
Sanguine.
Infinity Edge. Like, I mean, you really miss the lifesteal and also just the raw AD. And so bringing that into the game is going to make it just a bit easier for AD carries to close out games.
Well, Sanguine Blade was like the mini Bloodthirster, and then they changed Bloodthirster, but Sanguine Blade remained the same, and so it's just like, well, we don't really have a Bloodthirster in ARAM, so it's a nice addition. Warmog
and the other thing is, having another reason, like, because it's not that unusual to be able to just buy a BF sword straight up, because, you're just constantly skirmishing, constantly fighting, getting kills.
Yeah.
So being able to have another item you can use to buy a BF sword is good.
Yeah, because Steve kept having a crack at me because I kept buying bloody Essence Reaver in ARAMs. He's like, stop building Essence Reaver. And I'm like, but Sanguine Blade is so crap.
Yeah, it is terrible. It's a terrible item.
Ruin King's pretty damn good.
And this makes me so happy. Warmog's armor. Yes. So I'm gonna buy this item so much straight out when I play Alistair and stuff. Because again, just like one of those things where the lack of like an actual kind of nice big meaty health item, it just was really missing. And to have this is going to make a lot of champions much more, and also the regen is going to be really helpful.
Yeah, one thing I like about having wearmags in the ARAM now is I can actually start with braces on manaless champs. I used to get into games all the time and be like, oh, I want to start braces. But then when I'm playing Shyvana this game, I can't build a bracer.
Yeah.
But now that I got wearmags in the game, I just build 2 braces and that's my starting item. So much regen for days.
I mean, this is basically the patch for Garen and ARAM because he's now got access to Warmogs. He's got Mark Dash. Garen's now the new OP in Howling Abyss.
He heals a goddamn billion.
Yeah.
Alright.
And I think that pretty much does it. Cool skins. Zilean's got a great skin, but you'd have to play Zilean. But the Forsaken Jace, awesome. Alright, let's do some...
now comes to Plague League of Legends. All of Carrot's political friends on Facebook will now find him in-game.
Yeah. All 5 people who actually like me on Facebook. Alright, so let's... we have a mailbag questions, which is really Victor.
What are you talking about? These were sent to my personal email.
Oh, sure.
My personal email, by the way. These 4 people. Alright, Super Pooper Scooper 6 million asks.
It defeats the purpose of you reading out your own little comments in the document.
Hi, OzLoL Podcast. I'm a League of Legends player. How cool is that? Anyway, I was wondering if you guys had any leak tips for me to not be a shit sucker. I lose a hell of a lot of games, and seemingly it's because of my goddamn team. How do I deal with these people going so bad all the time and carry these games? How do I teach these kids? Is basically what he's saying.
Well, firstly,
You're saying, 'cause
yeah.
that's quite obviously you.
What are you talking about? It's not me.
Uh-huh.
This isn't like a backward thing about us. You're actually complaining about us on our own show, because that'd be cruel. Yeah. Well, I mean, to actually talk about the question, I guess seriously. I mean, ultimately, you can only control yourself. So, you know, complaining about other people being bad there's no point, because you can only control yourself, and you can, you know, it's no amount of raging, no amount of complaining is going to help. So just focus on playing, and just it's literally just play more games, because the more games you play, the more likely are you're going to have a team that doesn't suck.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. One thing about.
I'll go ahead.
Go, Steve.
I was just going to say, I have a mental exercise that I've trained myself to look at League of Legends with, because you know, as a shot caller, as an analyst and a guy who develops strategies and picks and bans and all that sort of stuff on a competitive level, going into solo queue and just watching like solo mid Malzahar try and solo wolves at level 1, and like you quite obviously being able to finish the game and going off and recalling. You know, like, all of these things are just kind of they were driving me insane. So I've came up with a mental exercise. It's that where I just imagine that everyone else in the game is just like a bot, a very poorly programmed bot. And my pings to the correct locations have a percentage chance of activating a code in that bot to go to that spot. And by just imagining that that's the conditions that I'm playing under, I'm able to tolerate that a lot more. And I have a more realistic expectation of people following the pings, and how much I can actually rely on my team to follow up on engages and such.
Yeah. One thing I sort of worked out playing ranked is basically everyone is there to win the goddamn game. If they're not there to win the game, they wouldn't be playing ranked. So I figure, now, they're losing their lane, not because they want to lose, they're losing their lane because they're not doing well. If I can set my team up with the right situations to do well, I know that they're going to do their thing and just try and kill people all the goddamn time. And if they get stronger and stronger and stronger, then maybe I can turn a win off that. So I also worked out that, hey, from every position in the map, I can have an impact somewhere else. From top lane, I can make teleports around the map. From jungle, I'm the jungle. I can walk around the map. From mid lane, I can walk to top. I can walk to bot. I can walk to the jungle when my jungler gets into a fight with the other jungler. From the support role, I can get my AD carry strong. I can go hang out with the jungler if he gets into a problem in the bottom side of the jungle. And as the AD carry, I'm the goddamn AD carry, and I can kill them if I can get strong. That's basically what I figured. Everyone has a position to get stronger in the game and help out their team. And if the whole team is strong and you're all these walking Goliaths, then hey, just step all over them little Davids. Who cares?
yeah,
Wanna do the next question?
sure.
Question from Jim Jams, the legendary Jaffa. Hi, OzLoL podcast. I'm Jim Jams, the legendary Jaffa. I wanted to ask you guys what champions are going to make me even more legendary. Jim Jams, my answer to your question is play whoever the goddamn hell you want to play, and don't let people like me on this big podcast tell you who to play. Play whoever you want to play, because you'll enjoy playing them more than what I tell you to play.
Don't play Zillion. I'm just telling you.
When it eventually becomes released, you should play the legendary Jaffa.
Yep.
Because clearly it's just the League of Legends, and this is the legendary Jaffa. He's obviously going to come out.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, we have a question. Unless you wanted to say something about that one, Carrot.
No. I'm still amazed by the quality of these questions.
To add to that ridiculous Jim Jams.
We have a question from Scott Ranconius Rankin. You know your name. Hi, OzLoL podcast. Do you like pies and pancakes? I do, thank you. Anyway, I wanted to know how I can revive my interest in the game. I struggle to get games in at the best of times and only get to play norms, and I get very angry when my friend Victor Pradley picks Zillion and starts building tank stats. I don't know why I get angry, because it's the best way to play Zillion these days, but I sure like pie.
Steve's just dying.
Yes, he's not listening to the podcast right now.
The funny thing is, okay, so the crazy thing is, Steve is actually able to read this document, and still he only laughs like this after somebody reads it out. That's the funniest thing about this.
I'm just like when I read these questions, I'm like, there's no way Karen's gonna let this in the show.
Why not? We got 5 minutes. So I actually, even though like this isn't actually a question from Scott, I actually understand kind of what this is like, because I mean I only get to play really for probably at most maybe 12 hours in a week. Like that's if I really like play nothing but League all week, you know, because I've got all this other stuff on and you know putting podcasts together and all the rest of it. So you know it can be hard to keep your interest going in the game. I think for me, and there's been times where you just kind of get bored of the game, you know, or there's something else that's more interesting. So, you know, it can be quite hard to keep being into the game. I mean, I think having a break is good. That's what I did for a while because I just wanted to play other stuff.
Yeah, I know you went to play Skyrim for a while and whatever.
Yeah. And then I got like City Skylines, you know, and eventually, well, Total War Warhammer's coming out this year, and I tell you what, I'm going to play nothing but that for months on end when it comes out. But I mean,
I'm on a little bit of a lull break as well myself. I'm playing a lot of Diablo at the moment, and I'm probably going to get my SWTOR subscription back as well and jump on that for a bit. You know, just to vary it up a bit. You know, you get stuck in the same place for too long, you go a little bit insane. And Scott, he's playing Smite, and he's going to go forever.
I mean, I think playing with friends and playing low stress games. So playing ARAMs, I've actually really just come to enjoy playing ARAMs just for the fun of playing ARAMs. Like when it first came out, I was like, how could anybody enjoy this mode? It's like so stupid. But now I've really come to appreciate just how much fun it is. And
just being to come into it, kill people, and not care if I lose
that's it. You know, it's low stress.
That's how I used to play. It's how I used to play Call of Duty. Except it got to the point with Call of Duty that I just got angry whenever I died.
Yeah.
And so I stopped playing Call of Duty altogether. Steven, did you have anything to add?
I love pancakes. And pie, not bad. More of a pancake fan. But just to our good friend Ranconius, you are perfectly justified at getting angry at Victor Bradley picking Zillion and building tank.
No.
Perfectly justified.
I don't know. Support build, it works. Yeah, I'm going to read the next question. I'm going to read no question from Victor Bradley, because Victor can't read his own question, even though these are all Victor's questions. Why is Steven such a butt? That's a good question, Victor.
I just want to say, before we get onto this question, we could have used this time to talk about the Legacy Legion matches last time.
We could have.
But no.
But instead, we're going to talk about why Steven's a butt. I think about this. No,
tell me, why are you such a butt?
I think it might be context. It's really my only guess.
Anyway, we actually only have 2 minutes left, so let's quickly do this last one. Victor, do you want to read it out? Since you wrote it, and it's lengthy.
Every single fake question that Victor wrote in the document.
Question from Godzilla.
Capital C.
Anyway, I wanted to know what you guys think about 80 carries in the current meta. It seems Rito have been giving them a hard time with all these tanks coming over, and we ain't got no Tristana to shoot everything to death from a billion miles away. Should I just play Vayne and turn into one of these turn into a massive douche supporting the design of a champion that makes me sick to my stomach and curse Rito's name every time I see her go 50-0 and 0 in the laning phase? Or play Cogmore and die all the goddamn time because nobody wants to stand next to me for smelling like vomit and old turds. Thank you for your advice, OzLoL. Can we see Victor nudes also?
Not on Twitch, that's for sure. We don't want to get our channel banned. Maybe hit him up personally and he can inappropriately proposition you or whatever.
Yes, you that managed to get his private email somehow.
Yeah. I mean, it seems strangely. I mean, this is the funny thing about new champions. Champion comes up, people are like, oh, this champion's terrible. Well, Callista's like the new big thing. Like, you see Calista all the time. I mean, not necessarily in solo queue, but certainly at a professional level. Like, she is one of the best marksmen right at the moment. So it's quite funny. I mean, mobility is king. So mobile champions, Sivir, Callista, Lucian less so, Graves, they do best. Maybe with Ash's rework, she might become more of a thing. Maybe not. It's pretty good. The rework's pretty good, but I mean, just the lack of mobility is always a tough thing. So, and of course, Jinx, who doesn't have mobility in lane, but just her snare and then her mobility when she gets turrets just makes her so good.
So I actually like AD carries in the current meta. Everyone's kind of having a fuss because they don't kick as much ass as they used to, because everybody's building really tanky. Well, unfortunate truth is that the best people at killing tanks are still the AD carries. They, they can still buy a Last Whisper. They can still auto attack while standing behind their own damn tank line. I've seen a lot of people complaining about the state of AD carries at the moment, but to be honest, there's more viable AD carries now than there has been in quite a long time. Like, how many times in recent memory can we think when there's been 3 or 4, or sometimes only 2 viable AD carries? And it's like, okay, it's got to be Lucian or Graves or Corki at the World Finals, or it's it's Severe and anything else is trash. There's been so many times in recent history. This is not ancient history, but throughout the entire history of League of Legends, that there's always been just a certain niche. Vayne and Jinx are the only 2 people will play because it's a hyper carry.
I mean, even at a solo queue kind of sits in the sense, pretty much the AD carries are probably about as evenly balanced as they've ever been. There's pretty much no one you can lock in, except maybe, I guess, Tristana, where you look at it and say, yeah, you really should have picked somebody else. You'd be so much better off if you'd picked...
What's funny is you can pick Urgot and...
Well, yeah, I should actually start doing that because I love Urgot. But, even something I play Corki, I've actually really come to love Corki. And, he does pretty well. Even, there's no one that's really, truly outstanding. And if you don't pick them, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Well, you're picking these champions because they fit a particular comp. Or they fit a particular playstyle that you like. Or Corki is a perfect example of how good the AD meta is right now. Because if you pick Corki, you can build him as an AD carry. You can build him like the Trinity Force sort of hybrid AD carry, or you can build Sorcerer's Shoes on him. And go for a spell penetration build and still scale as an AD carry into the late game. That's how balanced everything is at the moment. So if you're out there and complaining about how AD carries are stagnant or, underpowered or whatever, this is your time in the sun. The tanks are there to be destroyed by you. You've got plenty of allies to stand behind that are just as tanky as them. And it's up to you to crit their faces off. So go out there and have fun.
My advice to Mr. Godzilla is to, at some point in the game, consider not picking up that 5th BF sword, but instead picking up a Last Whisper. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we conclude question time with Victor.
Well,
that's it.
I just want to say, Godzilla should really be playing tanky champions just with that name. I don't think it's AD carries right for him.
It's true. It's very true. Maybe Shyvana.
Maybe into Rek'Sai, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, something like that. All right, well, that's episode 86 of the OzLoL podcast.
Please send us in some more questions.
Yep, send us in more questions. OzLoLpodcast@gmail.com, or otherwise Victor will just make up more stuff. And don't forget Ballerina this Thursday. Oh, actually, one last thing. I need to redraw the
$10 RP.
The $10 RP because they didn't get in touch with me. So name drawer. Here we go. See if we can. And thing picker. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can. Who gets the RP? Oh no, it's not. Yeah, here we go. Same one as last time. All right, here we go. Pick a random name. All right, Iron Dan 2009. Whoever you are. Yay! So yes, $10 RP is yours. All you need to do is get in touch with us somehow, either social media, Twitter or Facebook.com/OzLoL Podcast, or OzLoLpodcast@gmail.com, or come to Ballerina and hit us up there, or contact us personally. Anything, just get in touch with us. So, Iron Dan 2009, you're the winner of $10 RP. And with that, it's episode 86. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back again next